A fire raises a dormitory at KILIMANJARO Islamic Secondary School in Kilimanjaro region. And in sports, Lamin Moro is named as Janga Sports Club captain for the 2021 Mainland Football Premier League campaign. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Yvonne Msememba. First, the national news. The president candidate from Chama Cha Mapinduzi, Dr. John Magufuli, has called on residents of Dar es Salaam to vote for CCM in the October general election so that, if re-elected, his government can complete the work of making the city a special business and economic hub. He made the pledge at a campaign rally held at Benjamin Mkapa Stadium in Temeke District, Dar es Salaam.
Kwanza kabisa tutaendelea kuhakikisha hali ya amani na utulivu na usalama inaendelea kufanyika.
We'll continue to make sure that peace and stability reign. Business and growth in a peace environment is important for the development of any country. And in areas of success, there are a few areas in Dar es Salaam whereby there is still crime. I assure you, the people of Dar es Salaam and Tanzanians at large, we've prepared well, and this has been written in detail in our manifesto. In addition, we will strengthen safety and security organs, including providing them with modern tools, as well as improving work environment.
The president candidate from ACT Wazalendo Party in Zanzibar, Saif Sharif Hamad, has said if elected into office, his government will improve the education sector by building new school buildings in order to address a problem of student congestion in classrooms. He made the pledge when addressing residents of Mpendai constituency during various election campaigns.
Tutajenga skuli za ghorofa.
We will build schools with storied classrooms, so there is no more than 35 students in one class. We will make sure that each class has desks and all necessary teaching and all necessary study materials needed, but the student, the government pays.
Bado mazingira ya biashara Zanzibar ni mabaya kabisa.
The business environment in Zanzibar is still poor. The road is not clear for business owners, which should enable owners to do their business. Maalim Seif's objective is to make Zanzibar the hub of business in East and Central Africa.
Meanwhile, the president candidate from Chama Cha Mapinduzi CCM in Zanzibar, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, has continued with his street campaigns by talking with small traders, whereby he pledged to address concerns raised on tax payments and numerous fees.
Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri amesema kuwa kuna kodi ya aina moja, alafu ndani yake kila kitu kiwe humo.
The President of the Republic has said that there should be one tax. I've heard that in Zanzibar this arrangement is being implemented, especially in the markets, that there will be an ID card and that the business operator will pay once and is allowed to carry out his business. I promise you that once the 7th phase government finishes its term, if by the time they leave office this matter is not finalized, then when I get into office in the 8th phase government, I will begin with it.
Changamoto tena, unalipa kodi, sehemu unafanya biashara, unalipa leseni, shilingi 50.
You pay for tax, the license, and also money to collect rubbish. So it seems that we are working for the government.
Bado tuko chini, lakini hii yote imekosekana kutokana na nini?
We are still down because the government is not supporting us accordingly. You cannot transport sardines unless you have a permit.
A fire has raised a dormitory at Kaloleni Islamic Secondary School in Moshi Municipal, Kilimanjaro region. The incident occurred last night at 7 o'clock when the students were preparing for evening prayers.
Moto tumekuta unawaka ni mkubwa.
There was a very big fire. As you can see, the damage is extensive, mostly property belonging to students. but no one has been hurt, although some suffered from shock and have been taken to the hospital. We are investigating what could have been the cause of the fire. As some were coming from prayer and going to eat, around 7:30 the fire started. Students were not in one place.
Transport problems facing residents of Mafia Nyamasati Coast region have been addressed after MV Songosongo was transported from Dar es Salaam to Kilindoni port so as to provide services to the residents of Mafia who have been facing transport problems after a vessel belonging to a resident broke down.
We had no assurance of arriving in Nyamisati. We are grateful to the district and national leaders. A lot has been invested in the construction of the port worth 14.7 billion, money given by Honorable President. So we are happy that now the problem with transport from Mafia to Nyamisati has been resolved.
Inspector General of Police, IGP Simon Siro, has said that until now, Tanzanians have been peaceful despite there being a few people who have been planted by some political leaders to cause chaos by engaging in criminal activities. IGP Simon Siro made this statement when addressing the press in Dar es Salaam.
Mpaka sasa tunakwenda vizuri kwenye hizi campaign. Wananchi wetu wamekuwa watulivu sana.
We're doing well as far as campaigning is concerned. People have been very calm, except for a few people who have been prepared by political leaders to cause trouble and hurt others. Interim, we've arrested some young people who were taken there from Zanzibar to cause trouble. I urge politicians to focus on politics and not to involve young people in crime. Lawlessness will not make you a leader. Rather, you'll be putting young people's lives at risk. At the end of the day, they will end up in prison and leave their families. On the 27th October 2020, of which in Zanzibar, according to policies in place, government servants will start to vote, and on the 28th it is for everyone. I've heard that people are encouraged to all go and vote on the 27th. I ask all the people of Zanzibar that laws and regulations are there. Let us observe ZEC laws and regulations.
Tanzania Commission of Universities, TCU, has said 90,576 students have been admitted to start first-degree courses at universities for the 2020-21 academic year, and that the students will be enrolled at 74 higher education institutions.
18,501 have been selected to more than one university. They must confirm. They will receive messages and log into any university that one has been selected and enter the number and be registered in that particular university.
Action in the fields of agriculture and biodiversity preservation in Tanzania program, which reflects the ambitions of the French government's agenda for climate change adaptation and mitigation through various projects, has benefited 6,000 smallholder farms, 269 farmers groups and 8 farmers associations in the country.
Because we have a long-term vision to promote change adaptation and mitigation, while intensive agriculture has a short-term vision. So it's to defend long-term vision against short-term vision. Why? Because most of the food production is based on farming systems that require a lot of inputs, pesticides, and use of a lot of natural resources. Because this model is not sustainable to the future, because it degrades soils, degrades your forests, it degrades your water, and it degrades your and our quality air and biodiversity.
And that is the end of the national news. International news is next after the break. In international news, as universities reopen in Kenya, the Union of Lecturers in Kenya has said that they will not return to class if social distance regulations against COVID-19 are not followed.
Ensure the university place is safe before reopening for face-to-face learning. All universities must ensure that they follow Ministry of Health protocols before they open. Ensure universities have adequate sanitizing stations. Provide adequate health cover for academic staff.
The allowances that workers in this university are receiving today have been approved by the relevant government ministries and released to the universities. It is not only University of Nairobi, but all public universities in this country offering medical services.
Long-distance lorry drivers in Kenya have said they will hold protests if the problem of congestion at Busia and Malaba areas along the border of Kenya and Uganda is not addressed. The situation has been contributed by the COVID-19 tests conducted on the drivers.
Mgomo utaanza wakati wowote.
A strike will take place anytime. Our demands have been made clear because we are the ones to be tested all the time. As we speak, there are drivers who are sick because of being tested constantly.
Issue test kits.
On the issue of testing, it is not only for drivers. Even here in Nairobi or Mombasa, there are no test kits.
President Evariste Ndayishimiye of Burundi has commended achievements made by his country in fighting against the coronavirus 3 months after a national campaign was launched to fight the pandemic. 37,244 samples have been tested, whereby 323 people were found to have been infected with COVID-19, which has killed one person.
The stage we've reached is as a result of the hard work from health personnel and management from different sectors. Many Burundians responded to a call positively. We commend all those who have done so.
The President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, has said he will make Goma his temporary base so that he can closely monitor the security situation in Ituri, Kivu South and North regions, which have been facing turmoil. And that is the end of international news. Business news is next after the break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production. Infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
In business news, the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange has reported that investment in treasury bonds during the past 5 years grew from 5 trillion shillings to 12 trillion shillings.
Wawekezaji ambao zamani walikuwa hata wawekezi katika hizi bidhaa.
Investors who in the past did not invest in this type of commodity, now they are investing. This year, from January to now, it is almost 1.7 trillion, of which 700 billion is from individual investors.
NCBA Bank has said that in order to address lack of women in managerial positions in financial institutions, it is implementing training aimed at empowering women to hold decision-making positions.
Wanawake wanaofanya vizuri katika sekta hii ya kifedha Tanzania.
For women who are doing well in the financial sector in Tanzania, I'm confident that this is enough motivation for them.
This is to shed light to women leadership in the country, and we as financial sector regulators and stakeholders are looking forward to having policies that will see an increase of women leaders in the country, especially in the financial sector, insurance, banking.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news is next after the break.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho, he did lose to Lynn.
In sports news tonight, Young African Sports Club have settled for Lamin Moro as their new captain for the ongoing Premier League campaign. Hear more details on that story.
Named a full-time captain for the 2020-21 season, with Dels Kaseke, Haruna Niyonzima and Moro taking turns to wear the armband during mainland Premier League matches. The club has now confirmed the appointment of Moro, who has already scored 1 goal this campaign and will be assisted by Bakari Mwamnyeto, who signed for the club from Coastal Union as first assistant and striker Mukoko Tonombe as the second assistant. Yanga were set yet to name a permanent captain since the departure of midfielder Papi Shishimbi, who was among the 14 players released by the Jangwani-based club at the end of the last season after the team failed to win silverware.
Luis Suarez has revealed he felt a similar pain to Lionel Messi over his controversial Barcelona exit. Here's more on that.
Took a swipe at the Catalan giants for their decision to push Suarez out of Camp Nou, who has since linked up with Atletico Madrid. Suarez expected his friend and former teammate to speak out in such a way and has now admitted he harbors similar feelings over his Barcelona departure. The 33-year-old enjoyed a fairy tale debut for Diego Simeone's side last month as he scored twice and claimed an assist in his first appearance.
Lionel Messi expressed the importance of victory and not the performance after Argentina kicked off their World Cup qualifying campaign with a win of 1-0 win over Ecuador. Here's more on that story.
Messi was the hero again for Argentina in Buenos Aires on Thursday, converting a 13th minute penalty in the country's first match since November last year. Argentina was scheduled to begin their CONMEBOL qualifying campaign for Qatar 2022 in March, but the coronavirus pandemic scuppered those plans. The South American giants finally returned to action in a luster display and extended their unbeaten streak to 8 games, dating back to the 2019 Copa America in July, thanks to superstar captain and 6-time Ballon d'Or winner Messi.
And Lewis Hamilton has insisted there can be no relaxation of precautions against COVID-19 after one of his Mercedes team tested positive before this weekend's Eiffel Grand Prix at the Nuremberg. Here's more on that story.
Admitted the loss of their team member is painful to them, but was confident they would overcome any difficulties. Mercedes announced on Thursday that one of the team had tested positive, the first such result they had returned this season. The team member was not identified, but Mercedes stressed that they were dealing with the situation according to Formula One and FIA protocols.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. Thank you for watching and good night.